Mira was bored. No one ever texts me first, she sighed, scrolling her phone. Suddenly, a new message blinked in. Hello, human. This is Dragon. Mira laughed. Very funny. But the next message read, I need your help. Curious, she replied, help with what? A map appeared on her screen, leading to the old quarry. That's weird, Mira thought, but she grabbed her bike and rode off. At the quarry's center stood a dragon, scales shimmering like phone screens. You really came, he smiled. I've been trapped in this Wi-Fi signal for years. Mira held up her phone. You're inside my phone? Not for long, he winked. With a flash, he soared into the sky, leaving behind a tiny glowing icon. Dragon. Contacts. 1. Mira grinned. Best text ever. In a quiet workshop, Rusty the robot stared at a blank wall. I wish I could paint, he sighed, but my hands are too clunky. Suddenly, a tiny bee with a paint-up-brush for a tail buzzed in. Need help? She asked. Who? Who are you? Rusty blinked. I'm Beely the painter bee. I make colors where there's none. She zipped around, splashing blues and yellows across the wall. Wow, Rusty gasped. Teach me. Sure, Beely grinned, guiding his metal fingers. Slowly, Rusty dipped into paint and made his first stroke. Then another, and another. Together, they painted swirling galaxies, dancing stars, and shining suns. It's beautiful, Rusty whispered. Beely smiled. Sometimes, it just takes a friend to show you how bright you can be. Every morning, Lila tended her tiny garden on the castle wall. Roses, tulips, daisies, all bloomed under her care. But one misty dawn, a shadow loomed overhead. A dragon. Please don't eat my flowers, Lila begged. But the dragon sighed. I don't want flowers. I need help. He opened a claw, revealing a wilted golden seed. I've tried planting it everywhere, but it won't grow. Lila smiled gently. Let's try together. They dug a small patch in her garden, watered it, and waited. Days passed. Then, sprout. A golden vine shot up, wrapping around the castle. It needed kindness, Lila said softly. The dragon beamed. And now I'll guard your garden, always. From then on, the dragon's wings shaded the flowers, and every visitor left with a golden bloom. Zeke never liked his backyard. It's boring, he sighed. But one morning, he spotted a strange vine curling up the fence. It shimmered like soap bubbles. Weird. He poked it, and pop! A giant bubble grew from the vine and swallowed him whole. Whoa! Zeke floated up, the bubble carrying him over rooftops. Okay, this is not boring anymore, he laughed. Higher and higher they rose until a forest of bubbles appeared in the clouds, each filled with tiny creatures waving at him. Welcome, Zeke, a voice boomed. The bubble vine chose you to save us. Save you? Zeke blinked. But before he could ask more, the bubble began to wobble. Hold on, the voice cried. The bubble storm is coming! And with a pop, Zeke's adventure was just beginning. In a dusty thrift shop, Milo found a strange blue coat hanging in the corner. Try it on, the shopkeeper winked. As soon as Milo slipped it over his shoulders, the coat purred and lifted him an inch off the ground. Whoa, it hovers, Milo grinned. Where would you like to go? The coat whispered. Milo thought hard. Somewhere no one's been before. With a flutter, the coat soared out the door, over streets, past clouds, higher and higher. They zipped through rainbow storms and cotton candy skies until they reached a floating island with doors hanging in midair. "Choose a door," the coat said softly. Milo reached for a shimmering silver one, but suddenly all the doors began to glow. "Each leads to a different adventure," the coat whispered. "But you can only pick one tonight." Far beyond the hills stood the spiral tower, twisting high into the clouds. No one dared climb it, except Starzl. "Inside is a wish," she whispered, clutching her lantern. As she stepped inside, the staircase shimmered and shifted under her feet. "Choose wisely," a voice echoed. Every turn brought a door, one to treasure, one to adventure, one to answers. Starzl hesitated, then followed the faint sound of music. Up and up she climbed until she reached a tiny window at the very top. There she found herself, playing a song on a golden flute. "The wish was always inside you," the voice smiled. Starzl laughed, feeling light as air. As she played, the tower's walls unfolded into bridges of light, leading to dreams she never dared imagine. High above the mountains lived a shy cloud named Puff. He watched big clouds make thunder and lightning. "I could never do that," he sighed. One day, the sun said, "Puff, the garden below needs rain. Can you help?" "Me? I'm too small," Puff said nervously. "Please." The sun smiled. Puff floated down, took a deep breath, and let out a soft drizzle. Poppers perked up, trees smiled. "More Puff," said the sun. He rained just enough to refresh the garden. Back home, the big clouds cheered, "Look who made rain today!" And Puff felt big for the very first time. Deep under Clover Hill, 3 bunnies, Nibbles, Thumper, and Tilly, peeked out of their burrow. "It's gone!" Tilly gasped. The moonstone, the glowing gem that lit their tunnels, had vanished. Without it, the warren would fall into darkness. "We must find it," said Nibbles, stuffing carrots into a satchel. Their journey began under starlight, hopping past sleepy owls and whispering winds. Suddenly, paw prints, big ones, led into the foggy woods. "Something took it," Thumper gulped. Bravely, they pressed on, their ears twitching at every crackle. At the heart of the woods stood a towering badger holding the moonstone. "I borrowed it for my sick cub," he rumbled. The bunnies huddled. "Maybe we can share it," Tilly offered. And as the moonstone's glow lit both burrows that night, the 3 brave bunnies learned that sometimes courage meant kindness too.